Yeah, of course, Marish. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let us start our journey, the concert. Are you all ready with your book and everything? You will really enjoy. Okay, okay. The concert. Shanta 1930 to 2007, was a notable dancer from India. She was exponent of Bharatnatyam and also studied Kathakali and Kuchipudi. These are the names of our Indian traditional dances. Okay, you can underline these words. Bharatnatyam, you are familiar with this. You are familiar with only the word Bharatnatyam and Kathak. But Kathak and Kathakali, these are two different dances. Okay, so Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, and Kuchipudi. She was recipient of Padma Shri and Sangeet Natak Academy Award and Kalidas Sanman for music, dance, and drama. This is a true story, but all the names except Pandit Ravi Shankar's and Ustad Allah Rakha's have been changed. These two names, Pandit Shri Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha, these names are imaginary. That names have been changed because I would like to say few words about these two names over here. Pandit Ravi Shankar. Okay, Khushi. Am I audible to others? Because Khushi says that I'm not audible. Am I audible to others? Okay, fine. Good, Sanika. Good, good. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. Okay, Marish. Thank you so much. So, see, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji and Ustad Allah Rakha. This Pandit Ravi Shankar ji is a sitarist, plays sitar, and Ustad Allah Rakha is tabla player. These are very big name in the world of music, and you can say that they are actually reached to that level where they are being used as a synonym for their instruments. इनका इतना बड़ा नाम है पूरे वर्ल्ड में कि ये पर्टिकुलर इंस्ट्रूमेंट के लिए ये सिनोनिम माने जाते हैं. You must have seen the ad of Taj, Vahataj, where there is one young guy who's playing tabla with his curly long hairs. He is Ustad Zakir Hussain. Yes, Sahil. He is Ustad Zakir Hussain. Ustad Allah Rakhaji is his father. So Zakir Hussain has achieved big name, even more bigger than as compared to Allah Rakhaji. There is one more ad of Taj itself where you can see the Jugalbandi of father and son both. Okay, so after today's lecture, you can take the help of your Google Baba and try to get information about these two musicians, and you will find that these two are the say the two gems of the many which we have. Okay, so this is a real story. This lesson takes us to the journey that how a real artist should be and what actually makes a person great. Not any name, not any fame, not any skill, not any talent, but a person's nature to be down to earth and help in true sense makes him great. Okay, so let us start with our journey. One morning in a small apartment in Bombay. Yes, of course, Ria, humanity, right? But when people get little fame and name, they forget this simple yet beautiful word, right? One morning in a small apartment in Bombay, that time it was called as Bombay, it was not Mumbai. So, one morning in a small apartment in Bombay, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, Pandit Ravi Shankar is playing tomorrow at Shanmukhanand Auditorium. Shanmukhanand Auditorium is a very one of the famous auditorium at Mumbai. I suppose it is located at Dadar, and big concerts of big personalities that generally takes place over there. So that girl had seen this news in the newspaper and excitedly she told this. Shh, said her mother, pointing to the figure sleeping on the bed. Someone was sleeping on the bed. So her mother had just made her to keep quiet, pointing at her brother. You will wake him up. You know he needs all the sleep and rest he can get. Mother said to this girl that you know your brother will get up and what he needs is the rest. उसे आराम की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है. तुम्हारी इस बात से और तुम्हारी आवाज से वो जाग जाएगा. But the boy on the bed was not asleep. He was awake. Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro. He raised himself up on his elbows for 1 second, then fell back. But his eyes were shining. We mustn't, we mustn't miss the chance, he said. I have, I have always wanted to hear him and see him. Now he was sleeping. His mother thought that he is in a deep sleep, but the boy was awake. उसने उठने की कोशिश की जैसे तैसे वो 1-2 सेकंड के लिए चंद सेकंड के लिए अपने एल्बो के जोर पे थोड़ा सा उठ पाया बिस्तर से पर वापस गिर गया मतलब वो इतना कमजोर हो चुका था पर उसकी आंखों में फिर भी चमक थी उसकी उसके बॉडी में बिल्कुल भी ताकत नहीं थी पर उसकी आंखों में वही चमक कायम थी और उसने कहा कि पंडित रविशंकर जी यहाँ मुंबई में आ रहे हैं यानी अपने यहाँ इतने करीब आ रहे हैं हमें ये चांस मिस नहीं करना चाहिए हमें ये प्रोग्राम अटेंड करना चाहिए मेरी मैं कब से इस पल का इंतजार कर रहा था कि कब मुझे इनका म्यूजिक सुनने मिले lie down son lie down his mother sprang to his side. He actually raised himself up without help, she murmured with a catch in her throat, and her eyes turned to the idols on a corner shelf. The prayer, which she uttered endlessly, came unbidden to her lips. Mother immediately ran towards him. कि तुम उठने की कोशिश मत करो, तुम गिर जाओगे. फिर मदर ने कहा कि वो अपने आप ही बोल रही थी कि उसने जैसे तैसे खुद से उठने की कोशिश की और वहां पे ही शेल्फ में वहां ही जो भगवान की मूर्तियां रखी थी अचानक मदर की नजर वहां गई और हमेशा जो वो प्रेयर करती रहती है वो अचानक ही उसके मुंह से निकल पड़ी. I must hear him and see him, the boy repeated. Is the chance of a lifetime. Then he began to cough and gasp for breath and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. After just speaking these 2 lines, again he had repeated the same thing that we must attend this concert, we must go. He started coughing. He immediately turned out breathless and he was immediately given up the oxygen from the cylinder which was fixed aside. He was so breathless, he was so weak, still his eyes were fixed on his sister, as if he was, without the words, he was telling his sister that take me to this concert. I want to see him live performing. That is only the wish I have. See the passion for the music the child has. Smita bit her lip in self reproach. Self reproach. The girl's name is Smita. She was feeling a kind of, anger for herself. Why did she spoke this news so loudly? The fact is that her brother cannot go, he doesn't have that strength. He is so weak. He is not well. And why she said this thing so loudly that now the brother has this wish and that actually cannot complete it. Smita bit her lip in self reproach. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered that her brother was very ill. She had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely and spoken words that neither she nor even her parents could understand. Whatever opinion, wherever they went, all the doctors have just shaken up their heads. You all very well understand that what is mean by shaking the heads in this way, as there is no sign of hope for her brother's recovery. And the words of the doctors were so confusing that neither she nor her parents could understand that clearly. She herself was so fond of music. She herself was so a kind of music lover that just seeing that announcement, she also forgot that. Just see her age. She is also very small, just of the age of 16 years. And now she is really regretting that how could she. She had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely and spoken words that neither she nor even her parents could understand. But somewhere deep inside, Smita had known the frightening truth that Anant was going to die. Her brother's name was Anant. Somewhere, somewhere, though they were not able to understand the doctor's words, but somewhere she was knowing, she was feeling that Anand is going to die soon. The word cancer had hung over Smita's head. Cancer, even though she pretended that all would be well and they would return together, a small family of four, to their home in Gaganpur. Deep sir, next page, please. Thank you so much. The word cancer. Now there is advancement in treatment, technology, and everything. So the you can say that the chances of survival increases now. But it was the story of a few years back where the technology and treatment was not so advanced, and her brother was suffering from cancer. So they all were knowing that what is the end, but still somewhere they all pretended that one day everything will be fine, and they four mother, father, and the two children will be returning back safely to their hometown in Gaganpur. Though they were knowing that this is a kind of false hope that they are carrying altogether with them, but still, somewhere they were feeling so. And he was only 15 and the best table tennis player in the school and the fastest runner. He was a good sports person, but caught up in the trap of cancer. And now, actually, it is kind of a situation of no hope for him. He was learning to play sitar. They were both taking sitar lessons, but Anant was better than her, as in many other things. Anant was always better in many things as compared to her. And so, as they both were knowing little bit about sitar and they both were fond of sitar, they both were also learning sitar. And so, this is a great name in the world of sitar. He is actually the say the master of masters, Pandit Ravi Shankarji. And so this was the natural excitement that they both were having regarding this concert. He was already able to compose his own tunes to the astonishment of their guru. They were having their guru from whom they were learning, and Anant was so skillful in this that he was already composing his own tunes on sitar. आप आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, आप में से कोई सितार जानते हैं सितार कैसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है? आपने पिक्चर देखा है सितार का? गुड खुशी, गुड साहिल, गुड मयूरेश. ये जो सितार इंस्ट्रूमेंट है ना, वो जो हम पिक्चर में मतलब हमने देखा रहता है ना, ये सितार इंस्ट्रूमेंट कैरी करना, उसे पकड़ना, होल्ड करना, यही उतना आसान नहीं होता. उसको पकड़ना ही हैवी होता है ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट, तो उसे कैरी करना. यस यस सहर्ष, यस यस. नहीं नहीं मयूरेश, नारद जी के हाथ में वीणा होती है. ओके, सितार इज लिटिल बिट डिफरेंट. सो हाँ, यस खुशी. सो ये जो सितार है उसको कैरी करना इटसेल्फ इज लिटिल डिफिकल्ट. और उसमें भी उसके जो स्ट्रिंग्स होते हैं ना, स्ट्रिंग्स के वाइब्रेशन से आप ट्यून कंपोज करते हो. ओके, तो ये स्ट्रिंग्स से फिंगर्स कट जाते हैं. इट डिमांड्स सो मच ऑफ द डेडिकेशन. वैसे भी कोई भी आर्ट हो. Yes, but guitar, Tejas, guitar is very light. Guitar is very lightweight. Okay, sitar is a traditional instrument, तो उसका heaviness बहुत है. And उसके नीचे जो उसके जो नॉब होते हैं, जैसे सितार के जो आप ट्यूनिंग के लिए सितार गिटार के जो नॉब्स होते हैं वो लूज होते हैं, लाइट होते हैं, लेकिन सितार के नॉब्स भी बहुत हैवी होते हैं. एंड यू हैव टू do that simultaneously, you know. आप आज हो सके तो those who really want to know something, want to learn something, see, one word is there, you know. One word is there in Hindi, we generally speak it, that तानसेन होना जरूरी नहीं है, बट आपको कांसेन होना चाहिए. What does that mean? That if you don't know how to sing or how to play the music, then also you should be sensible listener. You should be a good sensible listener. Okay, so just to gain the information after today's lecture, you all can Go through Google Baba and just listen on the Google or YouTube the small piece of sitar played by Shri Ravi Shankarji, and you will understand that how difficult it is to play this instrument and how skillful the person is. Okay, so uh, this little boy of 15 years old, he had learned it up to that extent that he was able to compose his own tunes. Then cancer had struck and they had come to Bombay so that he could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. You know that the biggest cancer hospital is at Mumbai, at Bombay. And so he was brought up over here that he can get the proper and the base treatment. So the learning has been stopped in between of both these children. Whenever they came to Bombay, they stayed with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment was not big, but there was always room for them. Their one relative and they stayed with them. They had come with high hopes in the miracles of modern science. They told themselves that Anant would be cured at the hospital and he would again walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. They were praying, they were having that hope that Anant will get cured, Anant will be all right, he will come out from this trap of cancer and he can also take part in the upcoming table tennis tournament. And he would play the sitar, perhaps be a great sitarist one day. But his condition grew worse with each passing day, and the doctors at the cancer hospital said, take him home, give him the things he likes, indulge him. Now, these words are more than enough. What they said, take him home, whatever he likes, give him, make him happy. Now, these words indicate that he is not going to get cured. Give him what he desires. That comfort only you can give him right now. His disease has reached to that level where it is not curable. And they knew then that the boy had not many days to live. But they did not voice their fears. They had not shown their fears. They laughed and smiled and talked and surrounded Anand with whatever made him happy. They wanted to make the child happy for each and every moment. They fulfilled his every need and gave him whatever he asked for. And now he was asking to go to the concert, the chance of a lifetime, he was saying. See, the boy is using the word the chance for a lifetime, where he himself is having very less days for life. How contradictory this is, right? It's really very difficult when you know that someone is now for few days, for few moments with us. We have to, uh, you know, uh, we have to um, act or be in our all happy moods to keep that person very happy and joyous, and we have to hide these things from him. This is really a very challenging thing, very difficult thing. You must be in the position to imagine that pain, that fear, that thing the family must be going on. And as I earlier only I said that this is a real story, this is not a kind of imaginative creation. So just try to imagine that pain the family must be going through. When you are better, his mother said, this is not the last time they are going to play. Now, as you know, generally mothers has the answer for everything, right? So in the same way, and mothers generally have the common answer for everything, है ना? हर बात को कैसे टालना या कैसे घुमाना, ये माँ को अच्छी तरह से आता होता है। तो उसी तरह से अनंत की भी मदर ने कहा, जब आप ठीक हो जाओ ना, तब चलेंगे कॉन्सर्ट में। ये कोई आखिरी बार थोड़ी ही ना ये लोग परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, ऐसे मौके तो जिंदगी में बहुत आएंगे। जबकि मदर को भी पता था कि वो बहुत ही झूठ बोल रही है, बहुत ही गलत बोल रही है। When you are better, his mother said, this is not the last time they are going to play. Smita stood at the window, looking at the traffic, her eyes wet with tears. Her mother whispered, but you, Smita, you must go. Your father will take you. अब स्मिता भी उतनी ही छोटी है। अब स्मिता एकदम से उदास हो गई। वो विंडो से बाहर ट्रैफिक को देख रही थी और उसकी आंखें भीगी हुई थी। सो मदर ने ये सोचा, मदर को भी पता है कि दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ लाइफ टाइम अपॉर्चुनिटी। ऐसा मौका बार बार नहीं आता कि जहां हम हो वहां इतने बड़े दिग्गज का कॉन्सर्ट हो रहा है, परफॉर्मेंस हो रहा है, और जहां बच्चों को इतना उस पर्टिकुलर म्यूजिक से लगाव हो। और मदर को ऐसा लगा शायद ब्रदर के इलनेस की वजह से नहीं जा सकते, ये सोचकर स्मिता अपसेट है, ये सोचकर स्मिता रो रही है, ऐसा मदर को फील हुआ। इसलिए मदर ने धीरे से कहा, अनंत ना सुन ले, उस तरह से कहा कि पर स्मिता तुम जरूर जाना ये कॉन्सर्ट में, तुम्हारे पिताजी तुम्हें लेकर जाएंगे। अब ये जो सेंटेंस है वो मदर खुद को कंसोल कर रही है कि एक बच्चे की ख्वाहिश तो पूरी नहीं हो सकती है, कम से कम दूसरे की तो हो जाए। पर स्मिता के मन में कोई और बात चल रही थी। When she was alone with Aunt Sushila, Smita cried out in a choked voice, no, how can I? We have always done things together, Anant and I. जब आंट सुशीला और स्मिता जब दोनों अकेले थे, तब स्मिता रो पड़ी और उसने कहा, नहीं, मैं नहीं जा सकती, क्योंकि अनंत के बिना मैंने कभी कुछ किया ही नहीं है। मैं और अनंत हमेशा साथ ही में थे, हमने हर एक चीज साथ में की है। A walk in the park might make you feel better, said Aunt Sushila, and Smita was grateful for her suggestion. उसकी आंट ने कहा, थोड़ा अगर नीचे गार्डन में तुम घूम के आओगी तो शायद तुम्हें अच्छा लगेगा। And this thought had made her really happy. In the park, people were walking, running, playing ball, doing yogic exercises, feeding the ducks, and eating roasted gram and peanuts. Smita felt alone in their midst. She was lost in her thoughts. So next page, please. Thank you so much, sir. So, one sec, please. So, she went down. She saw that people are running, playing, doing some exercise, having good time, eating some peanuts and gram and everything, and they are having the relaxing time in as I said that she was thinking something different. Suddenly, a daring thought came to her, and as she hurried home, she said to herself, Why not? There is no harm in trying it. She suddenly got some a unique thought, a daring kind of thought, and she said, I should try that out. Why not? She was not ready to share that thought with anyone. She wanted to try out that thought first. It would be nice to go to the concert. I don't know when we'll get another opportunity to hear Pandit Ravi Shankar, she said to her mother later. And her father agreed to get the tickets. So now she responded to her mother's suggestion positively, rather positively, little aggressively. She said, yes, we won't get such kind of opportunity again. We must go. At least I must go. And so she told this to her mother, and her father also agreed to buy the tickets. The next day, as Smita and her father were leaving for the concert, her brother smiled and said, enjoy yourself. Though the words came out in painful gasps, lucky you. Brother was quite aware that he could not go, and he even understood that these two are going for the concert. And he heavy heartedly said, go and enjoy. You are really lucky. Though that words were full of pain. Sitting beside her father in the gallery, Smita heard as in a dream of thundering welcome the audience gave the great master. Then the first notes came over the air, and Smita felt as if the gates of a land of enchantment and wonder were opening. Notes. नोट्स मीन्स म्यूजिकल नोट्स, जिसे हम सुर कहते हैं, स्वर कहते हैं. ठीक है. स्मिता वहां ऑडिटोरियम में बैठी है. लोगों की तालियों के शोर ने इस बड़े म्यूजिक म्यूजिशियन का वेलकम किया. हल्के से उनकी सितार से कुछ सुर बिखरे और स्मिता धीरे धीरे उसमें होती गई. स्मिता को ऐसे लगा मानो किसी और दुनिया में जा चुकी है, जहां सुकून, शांति, पीसफुल है. And she is just in that moment of music. She was just, say, in a way, she was absorbing that music within her. Spellbound, she listened to the unfolding ragas, the slow, plaintive notes, the fast, twinkling ones, but all the while the plan she had decided on the evening before remained firmly in her mind. वो पूरी तरह से अलग अलग राग जो वहाँ प्ले किए जा रहे थे, अलग अलग जो सुर वहाँ हो रहे थे, उस सब में वो खो गई. वो उस सब में पूरी तरह से खो चुकी थी. पर उसने मन में जो प्लान बनाया था, वो प्लान उसके मन में पूरी तरह से Am I audible? Kindly reply in the chat. Okay, Khushi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. She had made one plan in her mind. She didn't forget that. That plan was so firm in her mind that cannot be forgotten. The chance of a lifetime. She heard Anand's voice in every beat of tabla. Pandit Ravi Shankarji was playing sitar and Ustad Allah Rakhaji was supporting with tabla. Two great people together. Such a beautiful moment, such a memorable eve. And a true music lover can easily get lost in this and get engrossed completely in this. But with each and every tune of the music, she was recalling those words, the chance for lifetime. Anand's words were reflecting continuously in her mind. The concert came to an end. The audience gave the artist a standing ovation. A large mustached man having a long mustache made a long, boring speech. At the end, the one who was the organizer had made one big speech. Then came the presentation of bouquets. Then more applause, and the curtain came down. The people began to move towards the exit. The program, the concert came to an end. The formal function was also over, but something still is going on in Smita's mind. Now was the time. Now it was the time to execute her plan, Smita thought. Smita wriggled her way through the crowds towards the stage. She suddenly ran towards the stage. Then she went up to the steps that led to the wings, her heart beating loudly. In the wings, a small crowd had gathered to talk about the evening concert, to help carry bouquets and teacups and instruments. There were few people who were talking about this and carrying the bouquets and all. So the dignitaries and the helpers of the stage committee were over there. He went there. He was there, standing with the man who played the tabla for him, the great wizard of music, Ustad Allah Rakha. She saw Ravi Shankarji, who was with Allah Rakhaji. Her knees felt weak, her tongue dry. Now she was scared. She was feeling completely shaken up. But she went up and standing before them, her hands folded. Oh, sir, she burst out. With just one word, she suddenly started crying. Such a small girl, such a tender girl, who doesn't know how to talk to such big people, how to express her thought. She don't know. She is even afraid with the reaction of such big and great people. But still, she wanted to do this thing. She wanted to give a try to her this thought. Yes, he asked questioningly but kindly. Ravi Shankarji asked, yes, but there was a care, there was a tone of affection, a tone of love, a tone of concern in his voice. And her story came pouring out. She started telling everything, the story of her brother who lay sick at home, and of how he longed to hear him and the Ustad play. So next page, please. Thank you so much, sir. So she started explaining everything, that how helplessly her brother is lying on a kind of a deathbed and he cannot come, who is actually longing to listen to these two great musicians. And then, after narrating this story with a shaking voice, she rose the demand, will you come to Aunt Sushila's house and play for him? Heavy heartedly, in a shaking way, she said, will you come to Aunt Sushila's house and play for him? She asked at the end breathlessly. Now, now she was really, you can say she was very scared. How can she ask such favor from these two great people? Please, she begged, please come. See, these are two world famous artists. They easily don't go anywhere. They even don't go to big programs and big concerts. They don't attend that unless and until they feel it from their heart. How can such two great personalities can come to a small apartment of Mumbai just to play for one boy who is dying or suffering? Is it really possible? Is it practically possible? She now, when she was putting up this question, at that time, she realized that how foolish it is to ask such thing. But then also, she realized that the one who had given the long speech, okay, Dia, again, is there any problem? Okay, Dia. Am I audible to others? Okay, Dia. Okay, okay, okay. Dia, now am I audible? Okay, fine, fine. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear. Yeah. Okay, okay, Mayuresh. So nice of you. So when she had put up such question, that person who was having the big mustache and the one who was having the long but Pandiji smiled and motioned him to be quiet. He turned to Ustad Sahib, Ustad Allah Rakhaji, and said, what shall we do, Ustad Sahib? क्या करेंगे? Now, ये क्वेश्चन ही उस तरह से पूछा गया जिसका जवाब हाँ था. This shows the simplicity of the great personalities. The Ustad moved the wet of pan from one cheek to another. Tomorrow morning, we perform for the boy. Yes, he said. और उस्ताद अल्लाह रखा जी ने पान जो वो खा रहे थे वो खाते खाते कहा कल सुबह चलते हैं, सुबह सुबह चलते हैं और उस बच्चे के लिए परफॉर्म करते हैं, कितनी आसानी से। यस, पंडित जी रिप्लाइड, इट्स सेटल देन। पंडित जी ने कहा, ठीक है, फिर तय हो गया, कल सुबह चलते हैं। It was a very excited Smita who came home late that night. Smita came home very late that night. Anant was awake, though she was late. Anant was awake, breathing the oxygen from the cylinder. Did you? Did you hear him? He whispered. He asked her, did you hear him? Did you see him live performing? I did, she replied, and I spoke to him, and he will come tomorrow morning with the tabla, ustad, and they will play for you.